this is Squatch. I thought I would just give you a brief little video of, I guess, general information who I am, what I'm about. I'm a middle-aged guy, as you can probably tell from your astute and accurate vision with its utmost clarity. I have had the fortune of living in most of the U.S. throughout my life. And traveled extensively abroad. I had a number of jobs that took me all over the world. I'm meeting a lot of interesting people in interesting places, and even occasionally doing interesting things, at least at the time. This day and age, it would probably be considered pretty banal and boring and passé, and I'm strangely comfortable with that. I've settled here in the eastern parts of Tennessee. I enjoy it. I find the people here tend to have the mindset that, you live your life, you leave other people alone to live theirs, and everyone tends to be happy. I think it's kind of a simple rule that a lot of the world has forgotten. I have an interest in a number of issues, anything from international affairs, watching the crazy chaos that is the American political system anymore, trying to find new community after spending so many years as a brother on the road. And I guess that's about it. I have been lucky enough to meet a number of you. That has been a blessing for me. I look forward to opportunities where I'm able to meet others. That kind of has touched on an issue, though, where a lot of people recently seem to be getting nervous or unduly cautious to the point of questioning whether or not it's necessarily fully rational, or maybe just a knee-jerk reaction, or something left over from the days of yore when people had the mindset that somebody from Alphabet Soup Land was going to be coming and sniffing their underwear and reading their mail out of the garbage. I think we're well past those days. If you want to really, dip into the Kool-Aid hardcore, you need to understand that anyone and everyone is potentially trackable at any given point in time, just about anywhere. You'll talk to people that threaten, I can stop someone with a click of a mouse key, and maybe they're right, but they need to understand there's a whole lot of other people out there that, work for alphabet agencies that kind of look for people like that, and we tend to keep some sort of balance in the world because of it. There is a large movement right now for creating what some people have started to call, mutual assistance networks, both locally, regionally, and nationally. I think that's a very good idea. I made mention of that in another video. But with that, people will honestly have questions about, I don't want to put my family at risk, or I don't want to put myself at risk. I don't want to, go out there and have Mr. Badman decide I'm a fat, juicy steak just waiting to be plucked and tossed on the grill. Well, there are things you can do very easily that is going to help mitigate that risk. First of all, be circumspect with what information you release. If you go and meet somebody for the first time, try and do some due diligence. Try and find whether or not you can meet or talk with people that you trust who may have met these people beforehand. Meet in a public place. Meet during daylight hours if you want to maximize things. And make sure, if you're really concerned, show up with a buddy. Have a little chat. Get the measure of the people you're talking to. And, you go from there. It's not going to be much different than when you are the new kid in school, or the new kid on the job, or what have you, and you're landing in a new territory, and you need to start making assessments of the things and the people around you. You do the same with this. You show up, you meet Joe Blow, you start chatting with Joe Blow. Joe Blow, asks some questions. It's up to you as to what information you're going to provide. Don't be a jerk. There's no reason to be a jerk. Just give what you're comfortable with, and if you're not comfortable, say it. If you're extremely uncomfortable, excuse yourself to go to the bathroom and leave. These things are pretty simple measures you can do. I think it's a safe assessment to accept the fact that you go and you meet some people for the first time. There is probably not, 6 or 8 different surveillance teams sitting out there watching your every move. Okay? So just take a deep breath. Take some common sense. Don't give the farm away while you're there if you're not comfortable with it. And obviously, in all honesty, on your first meeting, you shouldn't give the farm away. You shouldn't even tell them where the farm is. But the only way you're going to get a measure of a person is by meeting them. You can spend all the time in the world watching videos, observing people, thinking that you actually know that person pretty well, but you've had no interaction, you've had no dialogue, you've had no eye-to-eye time. So, you're going to have to eventually meet and talk to people if you're going to want to try and branch out and create any type of network. Be safe, be smart, but there's absolutely no point in, sitting somewhere in a little tiny shack on the backside of a ridge in a little tiny hollow, sitting on top of 10,000 cans of beans, all alone, hiding away. Unless you're one of the very rare personalities that is actually suited to an aesthetic and monastic lifestyle, that's a bad plan. Humans are social animals. They do not do well isolated off. In fact, your assessments, your ability to review things and to interact and to plan rationally and critically will degrade over time the more isolated you become. So, there's my 2 cents. You're probably going, more mad ramblings from that crazy Sasquatch. But, the comfort salmon, the battle salmon, they're on holiday right now. The great white shaggy beast is hanging in the corner. He's all moping because he doesn't have the salmon to play with. And, I'm kind of stuck here with the camera, letting some of my thoughts slide out of my head and into your world. So, I hope you enjoy this. I hope, gave you something to think about a little bit. And, I guess I will carry on with my mission. I'm a Sasquatch that suffers dwarfism, that was shaved down, taught how to speak, and let loose into the land of the little people. Y'all were really adorable right up to the point that you created firearms. Hey, what can I say? The world's a strange place. Be well, live large. I'll see you out there.